Hi, fellow traders. I'm back with the small account recap for the week. Um, had a pretty good week this week. I think this was my best week so far since we started, but I should get a little bit better week by week because you get more comfortable with the way you're trading and all of that good stuff. So feeling pretty good about where I'm at. Uh, I've been getting a lot of questions and a lot of people are asking me, why am I doing this? So I'm gonna try to answer that, and before we get started. The way I see things, it is very difficult to follow through on achieving success or accomplishing any goal when you really don't see others doing it. It's hard to become successful in something, unless you see a model of success. Now there are people, I guess, 1% of the population who who can just do something and not really need to have a roadmap. But most of us, that's what we need. And I can tell you and I can teach you all the theory in the world about my setups and what I do. But if you can't see me model it, or put it into practice, you can't connect to it. It really doesn't mean anything. And that's the way I was. Like when I first started, all that was out there was these video lessons. And it wasn't somebody trading live. They were showing you things on a chart after the fact. And the problem is we need to see it before it actually happens. We need to see it as it's happening. So that's something that I never had and was never able to find. And it took me hours and hours and hours of practicing before I could start seeing these things. But if I had somebody that could just show me and demonstrate to me one on one, things would have been a whole lot easier for me. But to put it simply, I have two passions. Obviously one was teaching because that's what I did before I started this, and the other is the stock market. And I've just merged both of them together. But when I started teaching, one thing became clear to me because I taught engineering, automotive engineer, automotive motorsports engineering, and it was a lot. It was hands on. It was me demonstrating firsthand how to do things, and the students learning from me in my direction. So I realized early on that you can't just be a teacher because you look at the definition of teacher, one who teaches or instructs, or one whose business or occupation is to instruct others, an instructor, a tutor. That's plain. There's not much to that. But if you look at the definition of a mentor, a person who encourages others by setting an example or through personal instruction. And I interpret that as somebody modeling that. You model the results that you want from your students. And some people, someone who teaches or gives help and advice to a less experienced and sometimes younger person, but in this case, not really. And I'm the type person where I'm not going to teach you anything and I'm not going to ask you to do something that I'm not willing to do myself and that I can't demonstrate or do myself. So that's why I started over. I the first time I did this, I was doing my blog and everything, but it started once I had gone through all of this and I got, starting with $5,000 every month. But I didn't document my journey from $1,500 to, the $9,800 I had at the end of the week, the month. I'm sorry, the $9,800 that I had by the end of the year. I didn't document having to refund my account 3 or 4 times because I didn't understand the importance of journaling. and the importance of, reflecting and documenting things. Even though I did it in teaching, I didn't connect the dots to trading until, after I spent a little bit of money. So, I want to be a model, and I want to be a person that, people can say, look, he didn't just say he did it. I saw him do it. And that's what I'm doing, step by step. So hopefully that clears up a little bit, um, of, why I'm doing this. It's not a gimmick or anything. This is me doing it. I'm winning and losing every day. And it's personal to me. All right, so let's look at my weekly stats. Uh, like I said, I think this is the best week that I've had since I started this October 1st. We got 1263.30. But I really like the fact that my profit percent went up. It did drop on my short trades, but you can see I took 4 times as many short trades as I did long trades. So I was 4 out of 5 on long, and I was 13 out of 19 on the short trade. So overall, it was 70.83%. And this is the number I really care about. I don't care if these flip flop from week to week. My main concern is I want to be at least at a 70% accuracy. Um, and another thing that came up is average net profit. I like that. It came up to 52.64 per trade, but my average winning trade, 96.64, almost double my average losing trade. And that's what I want. At a minimum, I want my average winning trade to be double what my average losing trades are. So I kind of like that. This I hate. 143.34 was, me not sticking to my stops. I did it twice and took, too big of a loss. And had I managed that, I might have come close to $1,500 this month. But I just didn't manage my stops well, and that's gonna happen. I mean, nobody's perfect. We all think we know better at some certain times, but I've got to set the example. All right, my max consecutive winning trades is 4, all the way around. Max consecutive losing trades is 2. So none of that was bad. Pretty happy with my week. I gained 41.1% growth over last week. So as far as I'm concerned, that's incredible. I didn't mean to jump there yet. So that was $252.60 average per day. That's another thing that I was pretty impressed with. So I've got up to 43, 33, 42. That's what the balance is. Um, after we withdrew our expenses from from the previous month, that's what we ended up with. And, to start this first week out with. So everything worked out great. I'm pretty happy with the start that we had to this week. And one of the things that I'm doing is I'm changing the way I trade. When I first started, was trading with $100 and $200, 200 share sizes. It's hard to scale out that way. So now I'm trading with 300 and 400 shares. I can scale out to where it makes sense and I could, make money. So, GoPro, GPRO, what I traded Friday, I was able to scale out of this, only trading with 400 shares, and took half off at my first target, and then took a quarter off, and then a quarter off. That's how I was trading, with my regular account. And this is what I wanted to get to. Once you get to a point where you can trade a little bit freer like this, things are going to come easier for you. And I'm not trading with a whole lot of size. 400 shares. Now I could have taken 1,000 shares of this, 2,000 shares of this if I wanted to, but that's not where I'm at right now. We have to make sure we stay in our lane and stay in our comfort zone. Trading these small sizes, that's in my comfort zone. And I'm showing you, you can make 200 and I made $250 a day this week. You can make $200 a day on one trade. One opening range breakout trade, one reversal trade. If you catch it and it's a solid trade, you can do it on one trade. You can put 2 or 3 trades together that don't follow through 100%. But because you're able to take profit, you're going to do well. Plus, you're trying to cut down on your commission costs. Because the goal here is not to stay with SureTrader all the time. The goal is to make 25 grand to build your account up so that you can move over to Speed Trader or Lightspeed or whoever you want to move over to. And that's exactly what I did. I had to stay in SureTrader for a little over a year, but once I had enough put together, I could move over. But hey, you got other expenses. Okay, this month, I'm going to have to pull out for taxes. I didn't do it the first month. So this coming month, we're going to have to take out a percentage of our profits for taxes if we have profits. If I don't have profits, it doesn't matter. But you want to make sure you pull that out and start your tax account. Because at the end of the year, if you made money, you're going to have to pay taxes. And the worst thing you can do is spend all the money you make and not have any money to pay taxes with. So I can't give you any solid tax advice other than to pull it out of your account and put it in pull your profits out, a percentage of it, put it in an account just for taxes, and then go to a tax professional at the end of the year and let them deal with the headache. I mean, that's the only advice I can give you. But, this, I just wanted to show you, how you can scale out. If you want to see my trades from Friday, they are on Ticker TV. They are, I did cut them off in time so that they can archive them. Anything over 90 minutes won't get archived and it won't be recorded and saved on the site. So now that I know that, I'm going to be aware and try to cut it off in 90 minutes. If I'm in a trade and it's taking long, I'll cut it off and then restart it so that we could save it. But you'll see on GPRO when I hit the secondary move after that top reversal where I caught it under VWAP, you'll see how I scaled out. Got in with 400 shares and scaled out and ended up with 235. This one, same way, 300 shares. Yeah, I could have traded a lot more, but that's not where I'm at. I wanted to stay within my lane. And my share size is based on risk, the setup, how much room I need to give the stock, and all of that. And all of that I talk about. If I mentor you, these are some of the things that I talk about. We get to how to you learn the strategies, and then we get to how do you size in. How do you determine your position size? Here's another stock. 200 shares I traded. 200 shares, and I got over $180 profit. Here, 300 shares, got $135 profit. So, it can be done. You don't need to trade with a whole lot of money. You don't need to trade with all this share size. Yes, you're going to have to deal with higher fees, but you got to keep that out of your mind. You can't think about that and cry about that and complain about that because that's not important. What's important is you focusing on your trades, hitting your marks, developing that skill. If you sit here and think about all these negative things, and I wish I had money that I could be a short speed trader. I wish I had money I could go to light speed or interactive brokers or whoever. The more you sit there wishing that, the less focus you're going to be able to put on your trading. And believe me, if you want to make it, you're going to have to give it 100%. You can't sit here feeling sorry for what you don't have. You just need to go out and get what you want. And that's the bottom line. That's how I approached it. You know, that's just the way it is. All right, so my overall stats. My total net profit is 32, 18, 10. Now this isn't counting the money I pulled out. The money I pulled out, subtracting it comes at 28, 11, 10. So this is the figure before I pull my expenses out. This is the figure after I pull my expenses out. So this is my actual gain that I'm claiming I made, because the other money had to go pay out. It's just like commissions. I can't claim I made all this money and not take commissions out. So everything that you see here is minus commissions. So up to now, 5 weeks so far, I've gained 28, 11, 10, or I've grown my account 185%. And I've made some mistakes. I've not stuck to my stops. Just like every other trader does, we do that. But the key is knowing how to react when you make that mistake. Knowing that you don't need to go revenge trade, knowing that you're not going to sit here and snipe that one stock to try to get your money back out of it. Understanding how you need to react to a loss and how you need to reset and put everything out of your mind until the end of the day, when you can have a clearer mind and can really focus on it. Because if you focus on a loss in the middle of the day, you might as well quit trading, because the rest of your day is going to be messed up. So I'm at 112.44 per day. That's over 25 trading days. There were 3 or 4 days that I didn't trade at all, but I still added that in there, because that is a work week. Whether I traded or not is considered a work week, a work day. So my goal is 125 a day right now throughout the rest of this month. And then next month, I'll bump it up to 150. But like I said in the past, I'm not looking at my P&L during the day. I don't care about it. The only reason I have my realized gains up is because I'm doing a live stream and, people want to see it. I'm really thinking about taking that down. The only thing I have up that I like to see are my commissions, because that slaps me in the face and tells me you need to slow your butt down. If my commission cost starts going up over $50, $60, I'm over trading, and I need to slow down and figure out what's going on. When I was taking everything off and then resetting and taking everything off and resetting, I had 18 to 25 tickets, which was killing me in commissions. But I slowly grew my account. Now I don't have to take off, get in, take off, get in. I can scale out, save myself some of that commissions, and bring in more profit. So, that's going to be my focus moving forward. Now, Profitly, I guess they're doing some. They've gone away from the free membership that they had for all these years. So I used to have the trades in the chart being automatically fed to my Twitter. I mean my not my Twitter, but my blog. So I realized this week that it wasn't getting fed there. It was just saying error loading data. So I went to try to reset it. It Profitly says the same thing. So looks like they don't have the free service anymore. So what I can do is going to be limited. But I did find these charts that I could access, and this gives me an overview of how much I gained, my gross gains, and my gross losses. And then there's my total profit, 32, 18, 10. Here's my winning number of trades. My profit 72%, which is awesome. 72 win percentage, 28 losing percentage. And this, I want to see this continued, my average gain to grow and my average loss to shrink a little bit. So, I'm looking forward to, continuing to grow and continuing to get stronger in this. There's a lot of people who said it can't be done. And yeah, you can't get rich overnight. You can't. It's not impossible now. You can get rich overnight, but you won't be rich long because you won't be able to sustain it. You can get lucky and get a whole bunch of money, but then you can't sustain it. So that's not what I'm looking for. You want to grow and you want to be able to sustain this through any market. And that's my focus. That's what I'm trying to demonstrate, to you, the way you have to do it, that you have to stay in your lanes. You don't see me chasing anybody else's stocks. You see me trading what's on my watch list. And if I get a reversal to hit my scan, you see me trading that. I don't chase anything. If somebody comes up and says a lot of negative news out on this stock, I don't care if it drops $40. That's not my trading style. That's not my setup. And how often do you get those? So you can get that, nail it, but the 3 or 4 months in between, you lose all your money. So where does that leave you? So I want a solid strategy that I can go to day in and day out and have the best opportunity to make profit. All right, my message today, and this is what I share with the traders that I mentor. The power of 30. What is the power of 30? A lot of new traders exhibit that backpack mentality. Okay. And if you remember when we were in high school, middle school, high school, we knew we had that automatic clock in our head that, if we had a 90-minute class, after about 60 minutes, we know it's time to start shutting down. And if you had a teacher who was smart and who understood that mentality like I did, that's when I gave a lot of the core information that they're going to need for the next class. And if they shut down too early and tuned out too early, they're going to miss it and they're not going to be successful. So we as traders can't do that. And what happens with us is we start packing up and checking out before we completely learn what we're trying to learn. If we're learning a strategy, if we have 2 or 3 bad days, then we look and we see somebody else in chat calling out $3, $4, $5,000 wins every day. Automatically, you're gonna want to follow them. And you don't know whether they're trading for real or not, whether they're calling out somebody else's trades in another chat room. You don't know. You don't know their strategy. You don't know the rules that they trade by. So it makes no sense for you to pack up and go start following this person when you really don't know what they're doing. You can't mirror trade. So, and that's the one thing I like about Ticker TV is that it's on a 15-second delay. So that'll prevent people from trying to mirror trade me, because if they did and lost, they get mad. But you don't want to mirror trade. You want to learn their strategies. You want to learn their mindset. You want to learn the rules that they use and how they identify the setups. So you can't check out before your learning is complete. You have to stay the course and make sure you get everything you need before you move on. You can't think about what you're going to do next. What's my next strategy going to be until you finish doing what you're doing? A lot of traders come in and they want instant success. But that's, you can't have that mentality. That mentality is a barrier to the learning process because learning is a process. And you're not going to see this anywhere. This is the process that I use when I learn. It's what I use when I mentor traders. I like to preach consistency, repetition, reinforcement, and reflection. Now, do I sit here and tell them, this is consistency, this is repetition, this is reinforcement? Now, I don't use those words because for a lot of people, they don't want to hear that. So what I teach them and what I show them is developing that without them knowing it. And that's where this power of 30 comes in. So whenever you learn a new concept or strategy, when I'm teaching my trading style, now my style and my setup strategies are simple. They're simple. They have as little moving parts as possible, and they're repeatable, but more importantly, they're scalable. Meaning I could continue adding share size and it not cause me any stress if I do it in steps. So, you know, when I teach it, I have them do the same thing I did. When I first started learning the opening range breakout, I traded it every day for 30 days. Every day. There might have been a day or two in the week that I didn't have a trade at all because either I missed the setup or it didn't set up clean and I wasn't comfortable taking it. Didn't matter. But at the end of those 30 days, I learned so much about that strategy that you could drop me off in the middle of nowhere with $1,000 and I can probably turn that into $5,000 inside a couple months, if not sooner. That's just how much I believe in this strategy and how much confidence I develop. So if you stay on it for 30 days, obviously it's going to take a lot of effort. You have to put forth that effort. In those 30 days, you're going to discover some things about yourself. You're going to discover some things about your trading. Even though that's not what you set out to do, you're going to discover these things. And all of these things are going to help you be a better person, a better trader. And that's what it's all about. Because unfortunately, for 99% of us, when we come into trading, we are not the person that we need to be in order to be successful. We're not. We have to change. And this will help you determine what you need to change and develop steps to help you get there. All while learning the strategy. What else can you ask for? The thing is, you have to put in the effort. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to be accountable to yourself. You don't have a boss in this. You're your own boss. So if you cannot keep yourself in line, nobody else is going to come in and do it for you. So you have to stick to it. You have to be accountable. The traders that I work with that trust this process and do it, they take off. Now, yeah, some of them have stopped, had done it for a week or two and said, I got it. And then they just took off, but they weren't ready. They hadn't developed the discipline that they need. So they become undisciplined and start trading every setup. And then they start losing. And then you lose confidence. This power of 30 helps you develop confidence. It helps you to eliminate the fear that you run into because you know not to chase a stock. So you don't have the fear of missing out. You know not to chase it because it's probably going to come back and give you another entry. If it doesn't, oh well, it's just one of those 20% that's just not going to work for you. Let it go. Move on to the next one. But as you go through this 30 days, you're going to discover these issues and you're going to figure out how you need to get around them. If you don't, that's where people like me come in, or any other person out there that offers, the one-on-one mentoring to where you can sit down and talk to somebody and help you get through these issues one step at a time. All right, so information, the last thought. Information changes situations. It's all about being effective. You need to be the most effective trader and you need to be effective with your strategy. Once you start trading live, you do not need to look around and start trying to find other strategies to trade. If you don't know what strategy you want to trade, stay in the simulator until you find one that you like, that you learn inside and out, that you spend 30 days only trading it, and then you can go live. Or if you know you like that strategy and you've practiced and you're consistent in the simulator, when you go live, you do that for 30 days. Because you're not going to win every day. But you have to develop the confidence in your strategy. Without that confidence, you don't have anything. And you got to focus on the right information. You can't go out listening to every Tom, Dick, and Harry and reading all these trading books. I have a lot of emails about what trading books do I recommend. I don't recommend no books. Okay, books are outdated. What you need to do is, if you want to buy a DVD, if you want to take an online course or interactive course, that's great. Get the fundamentals. But when it's time for you to go live, when it's time for you to trade, you need to get with somebody that you can work with one-on-one. My trading did not take off until I did that. And I resisted it. I said, getting a mentor is a waste of money. It's a waste of my time. I don't need it. But when I started working with Mike and we fine-tuned some of the strategies that I had, that's all it took. I took off. And I haven't looked back. So, what I'm sharing with you every week, these are things that I read in a book. A lot of these are things that I came up with that helped me get to where I'm going, that I've helped other traders get to where they're going and to where they want to be. The ones that stick to it and trust the process, are successful. All right. Now, I have been doing my morning watch list bills on Ticker TV every morning. I'm still going to do those between 8:30 and 9. If you miss it, if you don't come into the market till after 9, they will be recorded. Some days will be short, and Friday it was long because we had a lot of tickets pop up. Just depends on what my scanner gives us, and if you've been following, and if you followed me in the past in chat, every ticker I put up there on my watch list gives an opportunity. Very seldom. I say, let's see, when I did it, it was at 83%. 83% of all the tickers I put on watch make tradable moves. I can't trade them all. I have to pick one stock, and sometimes I pick the wrong one out of my watch list to trade. But the thing is, as simple as my process is, it finds stocks that are in play that day and that you can make your daily goal on, with ease. I will be continue to stream my platform live throughout the day when I get trades. When I get close to trades, I got the software compatibility issue worked out. I know what was causing it to freeze, so hopefully I got that done. It worked perfectly Friday. Obviously, I've got the audio fixed. I worked on that earlier today to make sure I had that right. But you can just follow my channel and you should get an email when I go live. And that email comes out, and like I said, we're on a 10 to 15-second delay between, actual time and the broadcast you get. So just keep that in mind as well. But my goal again is not for people to mirror me, but to hear my thoughts and to understand what I'm looking at. And a lot of times, you'll know where I'm looking to get in. So, you should be ready to get in when it hits a level or when it confirms the way I want it to, and be entering it, right along with me. Here's my contact information if you want to email me or ask a question. I'm always here to help. Um, AverageJoeTrader.com is my website. AverageJoeTrader.blogspot.com. You got my blog, my Twitter. Average Joe Trader. Drop the last E at gmail.com or ed at averagejoetrader.com. And of course, I'm in Warrior Trading Chat every day. I'm ed at warriortrading.com. You can reach me there, or you can PM me in chat. Obviously when we're trading and I'm in a trade, I can't answer you. I'm focusing on my trade, so my answers will be delayed. If I'm not in a trade, I'm free to answer immediately. But don't think I'm ignoring you. I'm there to help. That's, what Ross brought me in there for, is to help, because there are a lot of people in chat that started where I'm started. That's where I am starting from again. And, that's why I'm there to help. So that's it for me this weekend. Can't wait till Monday so we can get back at this again. But everybody, have a great rest of your weekend. If you have good weather, go out and enjoy it. Spend some time with your family and friends, kick back, and let's attack this market first thing Monday morning.